Oh, can you reach my friend? You're the only one who can help him understand. Oh, can you reach my friend? You're the only one who can help him understand. Hi, Destiny Squad, how are you doing? Yeah, it's Friday. Oh, it's Friday. Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. All right, welcome to another chattings. It's another chattings. It's like just doing chattings for chattings' sake. Anyway, guys, how are you doing? I hope that you're doing well. All right. So today I have a little, before we do that, I hope that you have all had something to eat, guys. I hope that everything, I hope you had a really good day and stuff. Now we're just here time to chillax, just have a little conversation and stuff. I have a topic. I hope that, it will be well received. I hope that you won't look at it anyway. Anyway, I have a little apple, so every now and then I am tired, trust me, hungry as well. So perhaps in the middle I will start eating some apples. I'll take a bite of my apple. But just to say, let me see. Oh, I have a topic. Let me see. Oh, it comes in the form of a question. Now, ladies, just take this with a pinch of salt. What I'm about to say, it applies to both men and it applies to women as well. So the question that I have is, why is it that some ladies get into their feelings when a man wants to support his family financially? And I'm asking this because I've realized that usually it's in, I would say, like a foreign country, because there's this channel that I watch on YouTube. I regularly watch, what's going on and stuff. And when I hear of these, situations where you hear of gentlemen, sometimes it's women as well, in mostly a foreign country, and you hear that, okay, the wife, the opposite, the other half will have problem if they start supporting their family back home, per se, put it that way. Now, what I want to do is to shed a little light, and of course, if you're not in agreement with what I'm saying, then of course, you can always put it in the comment section so that other people will have another opinion, will get another point of view as well. So I keep hearing people asking, why is it that when you go into a foreign country, you are not able to support your people back home? Usually people in the foreign country get in their feelings, like they want to control the financial aspect of things. Now, I want to say that culture, I'm going to offer some suggestions. And one of the suggestions that I think, one of the reasons, my belief, is that a lot of it has to do with culture. What you will find is that, for example, in Jamaica per se, it is customary to take care of, it's almost like children are usually said to be a parent or your parent's investment. And what that means is that, okay, you'll have the parents, they invest in their children, send them to the best school, give them the best of education. Sometimes they even go without so that their children can have the best. Why do they do that? They do that so that when the child, it is in the hope that when the child becomes an adult and is working, and they, the parents, are no longer able to work, cannot take care of themselves, then the children should turn around and take care of them. That is one culture. The culture in one country is different to the culture in different countries. So, for example, you may find yourself in a country where the children do not take care of their family members. They do not take care of their parents financially. So being in a foreign country, sometimes, you're married to someone from a different culture. Now, if you get married to someone whose culture, it's not their culture to take care of family members, like family is not important. Yes, they meet up every Christmas and what have you, but taking care of family financially is never a part of their culture. What you will find is that there's a problem. And there's a problem because they can't see why you need to take care of extended family members or even your parents. So you will find situation where, too often we hear like men saying, okay, I have to hide and send money to my family back home, because if, for example, the wife knows about it, then the wife is going to get into into their feelings. And just to say that, guys, when you hear about this situation, don't laugh at it. Don't say that, okay, the man has become soft. That could not happen, if they were living back home. It is just that culture is different. And you will hear this saying that, a happy wife, if the wife is happy, then of course the home will be happy as well. So what you will find is that some men, so as to not having, they want to prevent having these conversations, having this, fuss, having arguments with their wife, per se, who is from a different culture. And so because of that, you will find that some of them resort to actually, almost hiding to send money back home to take care of their family members. And it is simply because the cultures are different. That is why sometimes when you hear somebody say, oh, I would find it hard to, for example, get married outside of my culture, right? These are some of the things where, culture plays a big part, and it is always good for you to understand different cultures before you actually, take the step into, going into a relationship, a long-term relationship. I would say, if you find out, or if, for example, you have heard so many people, because for myself, I've heard of so many situations where it's either the lady who has to hide and send money back home to their family to take care of family members, or it is the man who has to hide and send money back home in order to take care of their family members, just to keep the peace at home, right? So just to say that these are some of the reasons why you will find that, people have to, they act weird, put it that way. Or you'll think that they have changed when they move into another country. It's down to culture. That is why it is really important that I believe that it is important that the things that are really important to you, that you bring them to the forefront when you're going into a long-term relationship. There are some things that you bring to the forefront. For example, that this is a fuss. You have heard so many people saying that this is like a big problem in marriages, in long-term relationships. You need to sit down with your partner and say, okay, this is what is important to me. Even if it means that you're going to have like a separate bank account, when I say a separate bank account, I mean that a bank account that is going to take care of your immediate home. Your immediate home being your wife and your children in the foreign country. That account you do not take any money from to send back home. That is to take care of that household, right? Then you're going to have another account where perhaps the other person doesn't even matter, or should not even matter what you do with the money in that account. Once you keep them separate, I believe that is a solution to how things can how that problem can be solved. Now, I am aware that in some cases, it is not as simple as how I put it, right? Because in some situations, what you find is that, for example, the overseas, the wife was the person who helped you to get like a green card. And because of that, you find that there is certain amount of obligation that you feel towards that person. So you find that sometimes in order to ensure that the person carries out their part of the deal, where they're sending up your papers and stuff, that if you come forward and say, no, I need to send money back home and stuff, the person might actually stop the process. So because of that, you will find that at first some men actually just agree to it, stop sending money back home and stuff. So I understand that certain things, the way that it started was because of the situation that people have found themselves in. And if you listen to a lot of conversations, even on YouTube channels and stuff, of people explaining some of this, some of the things that they have had to endure, you will find that a lot of it is, it has to do with finance. And sometimes it has to do with taking care of family members back home. In some situations, you will find that the man would have left a family back home, meaning not necessarily a girlfriend or anything like that, but they have children back home. Any person who is good, obviously, even if they're in a foreign country, they are still going to want to take care of their family or their children who they have left back home, right? And that is where sometimes problems come in. Now, in that case, I've seen it happen, right? I do not agree with it. And I would say sometimes men, perhaps you're not the best person to be having that. You should be the person to have that conversation with your wife, to help her to understand that, look, this is my culture, this is what we do, right? But if it is going to get to out of hand, then perhaps I know it's not right to bring like third party into your family situation and stuff, but sometimes if you get someone else to sort of explain like your culture, sometimes it will work. Sometimes. However, I am also aware of the fact that sometimes people do not go into relationships for the right reason. In that some people can have like ulterior motives for going into the relationship. Some people from the start, from the get-go, they had it in their mind that, okay, I see where this person, I want this person to be able to take care of me financially. So you will have like a selfish wife per se, who does not want to see the money going anywhere. Some ladies, for example, go to the extreme, to where they have to the man has to give them their full salary at the end of the month, and then the lady in turn will give the man a little amount of money to spend, right? And then the wife will do all the spending for the household and stuff. I don't think that is right. I 100% don't think that is right. And any lady who does that should feel ashamed of themselves, right? Because I think that a man is the head of the household, right? And if you start treating the person like a boy, of course it's going to knock the person's ego. And if you knock the person's ego, things are going to start changing, right? If you do not want things to change, everything starts with a conversation. And I always say, treat people how you want, the way that you would want other people to treat you. So if you know that you would not be comfortable with someone treating you that way, then there's no way you should want to treat someone else that way. And look in this situation, this person is your husband, this person is an adult, this person is not a child. Taking the person's salary and give them something like you're giving them lunch money, that is what you do to children. Now, I could see, or I could understand, if, for example, the person has a gambling problem and the person is always spending all of the money, and there's also always a problem at home in that the money, there is no money, then I could understand to a certain extent. But if you are going to treat big people like children, then of course you should expect, you should expect them to react a certain way. So when you're saying, okay, the energy has changed, then of course, when people are not comfortable, then the energy is going to change. And you have to understand that we are, as adults, of course, the energy is going to change. But mind you, sometimes the other person does not know what has caused the energy to change, right? That is why I'm going back to the fact that culture plays a lot in most of these situations. And sometimes the person, I would say like the lady, if it is a lady who takes the for example, in Jamaica, we talk about filing for a person. So what you will find is that the person who is responsible for filing for the other party, usually they are the ones who probably feel as if they own the person, right? And I always say that is never right, right? And unfortunately, you have heard of some cases where things have gone to the extreme, where the person actually, takes steps to see the other person being deported, right? If they do not comply with what they want. These things are not right. And I hope that if you find yourself in this situation, I hope that you will, get out of it the best way possible, or that things will be resolved by a conversation where you get the person to see that, look, my culture is that we take care of our family members. However, I'm saying that still you have to ensure that your immediate household that you live in as a man, that your immediate household is taken care of. So if you're going to take all of the money to send back home so as to impress the people back home, and your immediate household is left out of pocket, right? In that, you always know that there's not going to be enough food, the rent can't be paid, the mortgage can't be paid, then definitely I don't agree with it to that extent. But if you are the sort of person where you ensure that your immediate family, your household is taken care of, then you should be free to do what you want to do with the rest of your money. You are the one who worked for that money, and of course we work so that we can have a little enjoyment, right? So people, I would say, I hope that nobody finds themselves in that situation, but still, I'm saying that, but I still know that people have found themselves in that situation. So I hope that this would have answered some people's question, some people's thoughts, some people's question as to why is it that some ladies get into their feelings, especially overseas in a different country, when, for example, the man wants to send money back home to take care of their extended family. Sometimes it is to take care of their parents. So the reason, going back to the reason, some of it is a culture difference. That's one of the reasons. Another reason is that sometimes people go into the relationship for a wrong reason, in that, for example, the lady who does the filing, or the ulterior motive was there before, in that they wanted the person to be able to take care of them only. And once they realize that the money has to be divided, then you realize that their energy change, and they become more demanding in how they expect the money to be shared. In some cases, it is because the man stays quiet, when it starts going that way, only because they know who they are dealing with, right? And they know, for example, if the person is doing them a favor. And when I'm saying a favor, in that the person is, for example, applying for their green card, so they know that if they object to being treated a certain way, then they know that some ladies, and when I say ladies, remember I'm talking about whoever is doing this to the other party, they know that they will stop the filing. It is so sad. We have heard of a case recently where the lady did not stop after the man has helped her to purchase a house, right? The lady did not stop until the man was deported. These are sad situations, sad days that we are living in, guys, and just to be aware that these things happen. Okay, so this is another chattings with, chatting on the channel. I hope that you have learned something. I hope that, you'll be able to, just comment if you think that there are other reasons as to why people do this. Until we have another chatting video, my guys,